Tubi TV. If you're not familiar with Tubi TV, it is a great site. If you have not seen, watched anything on here, this is the time to get it. And you're saying to yourself, oh, I don't want to pay for another streaming site. Whoa, hang on one second. You don't have to pay a single penny for this site right now. This is a free site. This is what we call an AVOD versus a SVOD, which the difference is that this works on advertising dollars. In other words, you have to see a commercial every once in a while, which is okay. If you sit down and watch YouTube and you don't pay additional to get rid of the commercials, or Hulu, you're watching commercials on Hulu, and if you're okay with that, or on HBO Max now, if you're paying with the HBO Max with the commercials these days, you'll be okay with Tubi. Now, Tubi belongs to the Fox Corp, which is Rupert Murdoch. Basically, he bought this with Disney's money that Disney paid for Fox Entertainment, which was like billions for that. And he took that money and bought the Tubi streaming service. Now, the first thing you might want to see immediately with the streaming service is the classifications of movies and TV series that are on here. There's a ton of classics. There are movies, TV series. They're starting to get some exclusives. There's a lot of anime on here. There's a lot of kids stuff on here. There's stuff from Britain all over the world. There's Spanish soap operas. There's stuff from Asia. There's stuff from actually some of the Fox networks. And the other half of it is there is live television on here. Now right now at the moment, we have live news, weather, entertainment news. We also have some sporting events. Now, there are sports networks from the Fox Sports Network on here, from local and overseas. And the other thing is with the news network, and I didn't mention this before, the news networks you can get from different cities. Like I live in New York, but I could see the news in Los Angeles or San Francisco or Chicago. I'm able to pick up the affiliates from there. And this is something new. Now, originally, and we haven't reported this yet, and there was a big situation with this. Originally, they were supposed to get wrestling. There was supposed to be a third wrestling party that was coming out. It was a small group that basically was getting a deal with Tubi, and they're suing now the WWE that they went to, the WWE went to Fox to cancel the deal, and it looks like that has happened. It may change, but this is the price of business sometimes when you go through it, which is not good. But the reason why we mentioned Tubi in this episode is because of this. And I said that this is the dark horse. This is the company you have to watch. Advertising VOD could overtake the other streaming services, including Netflix. And this is the reason why. This is according to Deadline. Tubi streaming hours jumped 40% in 2021 with AVOD view poised to overtake SVOD this year, 2022. And we'll read a little bit from the Deadline article on this. Fox Corp, Tubi had 3.6 billion hours streamed in 2021, a 40% increase over 2020. As an overall viewing migrates from subscription to free and ad-supported services. That's one of the main findings in an annual report released by Tubi and highlighted by Fox executives during the company's fiscal second quarter earnings call. Fox reported a 9% uptick in revenue during the quarter to a $4.4 billion. Growth in the company's library is now at 41,000 films and TV titles, help propel the viewing time, CEO Lachlan Murdoch said. While some companies are focusing on multi-billion-dollar content investments in the search of subscription streaming growth, Tubi continues its unrelenting focus on advertising video on demand with a strategic measure investments approach, Murdoch said during a conference call with Wall Street analysts. According to the Tubi report, which relied on data from research firms MarketCast, SVOD audience grew by 8% in 2021, while AVOD increased by 16%. Ad revenue tells more slanted tail with connected TV and OTT revenue climbing 34% last year compared to a 7% gain for national broadcast and cable. Beyond the continued expansion of Tubi, which Fox bought for $440 million. Think about the decision. They bought it for $440 million. That's like a drop in the well. In 2020, the category has seen considerable investment of late. In the past 2 years, NBC Universal has rolled out Peacock, Discovery launched Discovery Plus, and Viacom CBS rebranded and expanded to Paramount Plus. Along with more established AVOD players from Roku to Pluto TV to Crackle, AOV viewership overall will surpass SVOD in 2022, the Tubi reports predicts. With the rising tide of ad-supported streaming is lifting Tubi, the report notes that it has a unique reach. About 71% of services viewers are not paying for cable TV, and 56 of them do not watch linear TV. In other words, they don't watch regular antenna TV. Interesting, 78% of Tubi viewers do not watch Peacock per the report, and 62% are not on Hulu. Yet the audiences are not willing to spend for programming. And with 71% of the Tubi viewers also subscribe to Netflix. You can see the differences there. They're saying that the average person will pay for Netflix, watch Netflix, and watch Tubi, but they won't watch Peacock or they won't watch as much Hulu. This is why you're seeing Hulu buying, with Disney buying all this, stuff like Nightmare Alley, and they got Futurama, they got the Animaniacs reboot. Because of the structure, Fox Corp, which became a leaner TV-focused entity after the $71.3 billion Disney deal for 20th Century Fox assets in 2019, Tubi revenue is truly incremental to us, Murdoch noted. There are no competing priorities inside the company, unlike at some media rivals, and no licensing stream structure where one side of the company is paying for the other programming. The dynamic disappearance when Fox Studios operations went to Disney. And that's true, that, when you look to the perspective that you have Tubi TV here, and they're sitting pretty right now. And I'm telling you this, they are sitting pretty right now because, and here's the thing, their business is running heavy to the point that they're bringing programming that people want to see. I was just talking to someone the other day. Let me put it in this perspective. I was just talking to someone the other day about Tubi. We were flipping through and looking what's on there. Did you know they added Logan's Run, the TV series? They've added Pam Grier and Coffee, Belly. Let's see. They have the Andromeda TV series with Kevin Sorbo, which on top of that they have Hercules and Xena on there. They have Will Ferrell's Oblongs on there. If you haven't seen Oblongs, real funny series on there, real strange and bizarre. They only had one season on that, unfortunately. Could have done a second season, but this was early days of Adult Swim on there. In fact, I know it ran on Adult Swim. Also, there's a lot of other specials, series, comedy. There's Prince Purple Rain on there. Sign of the Times is on that. There are a lot of concerts, a lot of cooking shows. There's Master Chef is on this network, on this streaming service on there. There is Underdog, which is another great cartoon series on there. There are some great classic films. There's some John Wayne stuff. I know Big Jake is in there, and Real Lobo, which are two of my favorite westerns from John Wayne. There's a good assortment. If you get a chance, hit hit that network. Hit that network, because it's basically that streaming service. It's very good. It's free. And basically, there's a lot of changes that are coming. There's a lot of changes that are coming very soon. They're going to add more live channels to the service. That is going to happen. That's exactly what is going to happen. And it's building up. The only really competition to them is Crackle, which is rebuilding now because they got bought out. Sony had it, and that was a big mistake from Sony to sell off Crackle to Chicken Soup for the Soul. Even though they do have some good programming still on there in movies, but they're still rebuilding. Probably another year or so, we'll see a big change in Crackle on there. Then Pluto TV, which is really big now, and Pluto they just added a Perry Mason channel. And for those younger viewers, if you have not seen Perry Mason, one of the great law TV series, and this is before any of these law shows that you had in the past 2 decades. Before that, Perry Mason was the big thing. You saw him in Godzilla. Now, basically, Raymond Burr, you saw him in Godzilla, and then he had a great TV series as a lawyer. In fact, if you ever want to see it right now, currently, you can see it on Pluto, and you can also see it on the overnight if you have MeTV. It's around 11 or 12 o'clock, I think he's on right there, right before Twilight Zone on there. So do check it out. I mean, great TV series on there. And there are others. You got a Doctor Who channel, you got an Addams Family, you got a Star Trek channel. There's a Mission Impossible channel. There are anime channels. There are cartoon channels. There are sports channels. There's music channels. They did have a James Bond channel. I don't think that's on anymore. But there's movies, sports, specials, everything that you could think of. Comedy Central. Funny thing is, there is even a Young Turks channel on there, which was surprising to me. But like I said, there's a lot of news, a lot of sports. You can get a lot on there, and it's a good replacement from broadcast television. And they have an on-demand service too. So basically, you don't have to watch their live feed. There are movies available on demand from them. And the thing about it is, you can watch it on your computer, you can watch it on your laptop, you can watch it on your phone, or you can watch it on your smart TV. It is available on most smart TV. I know it's on my TV. I have a Samsung, and I do have an app for it on there. And I think they're also available on the Xbox, I believe. I'm not certain on PlayStation. I know they're available on Xbox at one point. Well, we'll continue to monitor Tubi, because there's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on. We're going to see a lot more shows on there. So do check it out. It's, like I said, it's free. You can put it on watch it on anything you want on there. So there's a lot of places you can get to watch it.